People were doing just about anything to help keep themselves warm out at Alamo Stadium tonight.
I'm very warm, yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody else kind of looking at you funny. What are you going to tell them? Say, hey, hot, I'm warm.
Hey, I'm warm, sorry.
Even though it was cold out here tonight, the Judson Rockets had to overcome that cold in order to make their third appearance in the state finals in 4 years. And baby, those Rockets were hot tonight.
It was the Rockets who would start this one off early. Number 5, Bruce Johnson takes the ball in from 1 yard out to give the Rockets an early 7-0 lead. Then it was Judson's quarterback Guy Anderson finding Teddy Carrier in the end zone. Touchdown. The Rockets run away with this one by the final score of 49-19. After the game, we caught up with Judson's head coach D.W. Rutledge and running back Bruce Johnson.
A lot of people said it couldn't be done. You did it, Coach.
I'll tell you what, I'm really proud of the kids. They played a heck of a ball game and beat a good football team today.
How does it feel getting there one more time?
Great. It's just something that if you make it, you're fortunate. And I feel really fortunate.
It's indescribable right now. I'm just so excited that, we finally made it to state. This is great.
With the win over Aldine Eisenhower, the Judson Rockets are once again... I'm Craig Carnoustie, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
All right, welcome back. Now, anything is possible in the month of March and expected to happen. And, of course, the zaniness continued last night. The #1 seed in the Southeast, the University of Connecticut, was knocked off by Mississippi State. Now, there's Darrell Wilson. He was the hero of this one. He had 5 first-half three-pointers to pace the Bulldogs. Wilson finished up the night with 27 points. As we go to the scoreboard, Mississippi defeats Connecticut 60-55. And on the other side, it was Cincinnati over Georgia Tech 87-70. In the meantime, over in the West, the Georgia Bulldogs almost pulled off an upset of their own. Here's the end of the ball game. Chris Robinson hits the three-pointer to give Georgia a 2-point lead, but Syracuse's John Wallace makes this clutch jumper. As we go back to the scoreboard, it was Syracuse over Georgia 83-81, and Kansas defeats Arizona 83-80. Coming up, a preview of the Spurs game tonight, and has Bob Hill been replaced as the Admirals coach? All that right after this. Welcome back. Our very own San Antonio Spurs are in Seattle tonight to face Sean Kemp and the Seattle Supersonics. Now, the Spurs are riding a 5-game win streak, coming off the big win over Detroit on Friday night, which helped improve the record of 41-18. There's the matchup for you. Tip-off set for 7 p.m. in Seattle. Of course, we'll have all of the highlights for you coming up on Eyewitness News at 10. And finally, in case you missed him earlier this week, David Robinson walked away from his center position on the San Antonio Spurs team to take center stage on Sesame Street. Seems that one Count Dracula wants to take Bob Hill's job of coaching David Robinson.
My coaching staff, my coaching staff and I will count how many times you, David Robinson, can dribble the basketball without stopping.
Wait a second, this could take a very, very long time.
A big night last night for the NBA. The draft got underway in New Jersey, and there were few surprises among the top picks. The Spurs had little chance to surprise anyone because, well, they didn't have a single pick. So without further ado, here's Commissioner David Stern with last night's first selection.
With the first pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Allen Iverson from Georgetown University.
Now, Iverson is the first point guard to be chosen first in the draft since Magic Johnson was taken as the top selection in 1979. The Spurs staff had a quiet evening during this year's draft, considering all they had to do was sit back and watch, wait, and listen for the phone to ring. Now, if it did ring, it was probably a wrong number or somebody's wife making sure they were actually at work. Well, why? Because the Spurs traded away their only draft pick earlier this season to New York for forward Monty Williams. So last night, they basically just had to be there in case a trade was offered to them. And that didn't happen, so at least they got to enjoy a meal together. With temperatures around 30 degrees this morning, how many people do you actually think would be outside running in the 1996 Express News Festival 10K? How about 3,000? It was an unusual chilly morning downtown, but that didn't stop any of the runners, as this race has grown in stature over the last few years. Everyone from professional runners to those who traveled in groups. But after it was all said and done, Eric Polensky of Austin, Texas was the winner, breaking the tape in 28 minutes and 25 seconds.
Coming up the final hill, people are screaming at him. He's got 10 yards and he's coming. I'm looking back and he's coming. And I'm just like, hold on, Eric, just go, 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 go. And once I made that turn, I knew I had it in the bag. It was over, and it was just a wonderful feeling, probably one of the biggest races in my life.
And what do you get when you finish first place after running 10,000 kilometers? How about a brand new set of wheels? Well, the envelopes have been opened, and we now know who has been invited to the 1996 NCAA National Tournament. Let's take a look at some of the teams in the tourney. Well, here are the top seeds. In the East, it's Massachusetts grabbing the top seat. As for the Midwest, it's Kentucky. Southeast top seed is filled by Connecticut, and the final spot has been taken by Purdue. And in the final year of the Southwest Conference, it will be well represented by Texas Tech, who faces Northern Illinois in the first round, and by Texas, who is matched up with Michigan as its first round opponent.